ரொம்ப ஒழுக்கமாக இருக்குது. நம்ம பெற்றோம் வளர்த்தோன்னு இல்லாமல் அந்த குழந்தைங்க எதிர்காலத்தில் மற்றவங்களுக்கும் நல்லது செய்யன்ற ஒரு நம்பிக்கை இருக்குது.
Hariom and pranams to one and all. We, the children of Chinmaya Harihara Vidyalaya, invite you to a grand and magnificent Navaratri Golu. The theme this year is Divine Non-Human Beings. My friend Geetanjali and I will take you on a wonder-filled, divinely inspiring tour of this Golu. Shall we?
Sure, Sweta. Where do we start?
We take you back in time, thousands of yugas ago, to the wonderful creation of so many divine beings from the great Kashyapa Prajapati, son of the illustrious Marichi Rishi. Kashyapa Prajapati, a revered Vedic sage of Sanatana Dharma, was married to 13 daughters of Daksha Prajapati. He had from them innumerable sons and daughters of various species.
From Aditi were born the 12 Adityas, who became the lords of the universe, including the sun god Surya, Indra, Varuna and Sri Vishnu.
Diti gave birth to two powerful Daityas, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu's son Prahalad became well known, and in his lineage came Mahabali and Banasura.
From Danu came 34 fearful Danavas, and then so many more in their lineage like Paulomas and Kalakeyas.
Simhika gave birth to a son, Rahu.
Danayu had 4 sons who were the best amongst Asuras like Vritrasura.
The sons of Kala were like Yama himself.
Vinata gave birth to the king of birds, Garuda and Aruna, whose sons were Jatayu and Sampati of Ramayana fame.
The Sarpas and Nagas came in thousands from Kadru. Some of them whom we know very well are Anantashesha, Vasuki and Takshaka.
Muni had 16 Devagandharvas as her sons. Some of them were Bhimasena, Ugrasena, Chitraratha and the last one Narada.
Pradha gave birth to Devas, Gandharvas and the most beautiful damsels called the Apsaras like Ramba, Tilotama, Manorama to name a few. Celebrated Gandharvas like Hahauhu and Tumburu were also her sons.
The divine nectar, Brahmanas and cows were offsprings of Kapila.
Tamra got 5 daughters, Kaki, the mother of crows, Sheni, the mother of hawks, Bhasi, the mother of cocks and vultures, Dhritarashri, mother of ducks and swans, and the beautiful Shuki, the mother of parrots.
Krodhavarsha had 9 daughters, Mrigi, the mother of deer species, Mrigamada, the bear species, Hari, the mother of horses and monkeys, Bhadramana, the mother of Airavata, the royal white elephant of Devendra, Matangi, mother of elephant species, Shweta, mother of mammoths, Sharduli, the mother of tigers, lions and leopards, and the gentle Surabhi, the mother of cows, horses and pulpy fruit trees.
Wow, that was a mind-blowing enumeration of the origin of so many species. In one way or other, we all must belong to the great Rishi's lineage along with all other beings. Now I understand we are literally one family.
Rightly said, my friend. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
Now, I am a bit curious and want to know more. Did you not mention that Garuda and the snakes were brothers? Can you tell me more about the mothers of birds and snakes?
Thousands of yugas ago, the great Kashyapa Prajapati was engaged in a magnificent yaga to have children. All rishis and devas came to help him. Indra and Valkhilya rishis were asked to bring firewood for the sacrifice. Indra brought a huge mountain like wood without fatigue. On his way, he saw some tiny thumb-sized rishis carrying a single stalk of palasat leaf. As the rishis were tired from fasting, they fell into a very tiny puddle. Laughing at this and mad with pride, Indra crossed over their heads. Angry at this gross insult, the rishis said,
"From this very sacrifice, there will be a great hero, 100 times stronger and valorous than Indra, capable of anything, going anywhere at will, and imparting great fear to present Indra. Kama virya, kama gamaha, devaraja bhayapradaha, Indroni sarva devanam bhavet."
Alarmed, Indra went to Kashyapa Prajapati, who in turn pacified the rishis and asked for an Indra of winged creatures so that the creator Brahmaji's words and the rishis' words would not go in vain. Valakilya rishis too agreed. Around the same time, Vinata, the good wife of Kashyapa, approached him for a boon. Kashyapa said,
"Two heroic sons will be born to you as lords of the three worlds, who can assume any form, who will do good to all and will be respected by all. So take good care of them."
He then told Indra that he would have two powerful brothers and warned him of the dangers of becoming proud. Indra was greatly relieved and Vinata was overjoyed.
Meanwhile, Kadru, another wife of Kashyapa Rishi, wanted 1,000 powerful snakes for her sons. The rishi granted her the same. Kadru laid 1,000 eggs, which hatched in 500 years. From them came the snakes, and the mother Kadru was extremely happy. This made Vinata very jealous, since her 2 eggs had not hatched. She broke open one, and out came a celestial being, the great Aruna, with only a half-developed body.
He cursed his mother that she would suffer slavery because of her jealousy, but he also gave her hope, saying that if she would be patient for another 500 years, his brother would hatch from the other egg and relieve her from slavery and sorrow. Thus saying, Aruna left to be the charioteer of Lord Surya, the sun god. This great bird, Sri Aruna, is the beautiful Lord of Dawn, who later became the father of the 2 great vultures, Jatayu and Sampati.
Deeply saddened by her pitiable state, Vinata, under the force of her own fate, became the slave of her sister Kadru and her Naga sons.
After another 500 years, Sri Garuda of great splendor came out bursting the other egg. As soon as he was born, his huge body rose up to the sky, shining and blazing like Agni. All Devatas sang his praise. Bole Shri Garuda Bhagavani ki Jai.
Garuda found out from his mother Vinata the reason for her slavery. Fed up with this miserable condition, he asked the snakes how he could free his mother and himself from slavery. The snakes asked for the divine nectar, which was well guarded by the celestials under the leadership of Indra. Garuda set out to bring the divine nectar.
The celestials, seeing Garuda, began to tremble in fear and they struck each other. The great Vishwakarma was dead in a moment. The great bird darkened the worlds by the dust from his wings and none could see after that. Garuda then mangled all the devas with his wings, beaks and claws. The powerful Vayu drove away the dust. Regaining their vision, all devas headed by Indra then started to attack Garuda, showering all their weapons at once. But Garuda flew high up and stood blazing in the sky. He attacked devas from all sides tirelessly. The devas ran helter-skelter. Garuda looked like Rudra himself.
After all the devas ran away, Garuda saw the divine nectar surrounded by fire on all sides. He became 90 Garudas with 90 mouths, started drinking many rivers. He used the water from his mouths to put off the fire that surrounded the Amrita.
As Garuda went nearer, he saw a wheel with razor edges revolving incessantly, which would slice any creature passing through into 1,000 pieces. Reducing his size in an instant, he quickly passed through the spikes. He saw there, in line with the wheel, 2 poisonous snakes, ever winkless and emitting fire from their eyes. He covered their eyes with dust and attacked them. Then he lifted the divine nectar and rose to sky without drinking a bit of it.
Just then, Sri Vishnu rose in the sky. He was so pleased with Garuda's self-denial that he wanted to bestow a boon. Garuda said,
Let me stay above you, O Lord. Let me be immortal without drinking this nectar.
Sri Vishnu granted him the boons and made Garuda his flag and his vehicle.
Did Garuda really give the nectar to the snakes? What happened to the Nagas?
No, actually, Garuda tricked the Nagas. Placing the pot on Kusha grass, Garuda told them to take bath before partaking the nectar. While the Nagas were bathing, Indra took the pot back. Licking the grass, the snakes got their tongues split, and Kusha grass by contact with a part of nectar became very sacred, and thus Garuda became friends with Indra and Devas finally.
Oh, that was so clever. This is such a wonderful history of Sri Garuda's birth and feats. I feel so blessed and uplifted.
Yes, listening to the avatara and leela of these divine beings, one's mind is purified and spirits are uplifted.
Let me ask you one more question. Are all snakes bad? But why do we worship some of them?
Snakes or sarpas are mostly venomous and vicious, but Nagas are powerful, divine, capable of taking any form, and do not hurt the innocent. They in fact guard and bless us. The great Adishesha Naga, born of Kadru, became an ascetic. Vasuki, the great snake who adorns the neck of Lord Shiva, volunteered himself to be used as a rope for churning of the Milky Ocean.
Really? Isn't Adishesha the Naga that is supporting earth on one of his heads?
Yes, Shesha Bhagwan practiced penances living on air in the Gandhamadana forest and the Himalayas for a very long time. Brahmaji was so pleased. Shesha Bhagwan asked him,
Let my heart always delight in virtue and in austerities. Dharme me ramatam buddhisi, shame tapasi cheshvara.
Brahmaji was pleased and granted him the boon. The Creator further commanded Adishesha to bear earth steadily on his head. Thus, Adishesha did many penances, bore the earth on his head, and was blessed by Sri Narayana Bhagavan himself.
Thank you so much for narrating these wonderful manifestations of so many celestial beings. I feel really blessed to have heard them on this auspicious Navaratri night. May the Lord and Guru Parampara be pleased with our humble offerings. Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.
Friends, do not think that Devas and Asuras live or had lived merely in some transcendental planes. They are here and now, among us and within us. In Sanskritam, Asura means one who indulges in sensuous pleasures, and Deva is one who shines with purity, nobility, and knowledge. Whenever there is rise of thoughts like love, compassion, and forgiveness, Devas are on the rise. Know the feelings of hatred, anger, jealousy, and the like to be Asuras. At times, the Devas, despite a brave fight, seem to lose to the Asuras. Let the goodness in you seek refuge in the Lord in humble devotion. He will swiftly come on his divine vehicles, Sant Mahatmas, Rishis, and Guru Parampara. The sword of knowledge, our Guru empowers us to destroy the evil darkness of ignorance. Then alone one sees true unity in diversity of Lord's creation. Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om.